And the sun is right in my face. Shall I shimmy you? No, that's worse. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura Penrose and I am here with a weekly vlog here on YouTube. How exciting. For those of you who are new around here, I am a full-time knitwear designer and content creator and have been full-time at this job, I think I'd say about a year now, but have been in the industry since 2021. I uploaded my first video. I am planning on doing a video about how I became a knitwear designer at some point in the next few weeks, but for now we are focusing on what I get up to day to day. As a knitwear designer, I think I kind of forget that it's an unusual job. Obviously the people I know and talk to and surround myself with are mainly knitters and designers, and it's normal to them, but when I meet someone new, they ask me what I do, they're always like, oh, wow, that's interesting. What's that like? So I thought I would make a little video this week of what I actually get up to day to day. We're just focusing in on the work side of things. This isn't going to be like life or family or anything like that. For those of you who are new, I have two small children who are both at school now. And since they started school, really, I was able to start putting more time into my business, and now they are, well, my youngest is 5.5, nearly 6, and I actually have the time now to really commit to my business. And last year was a really good year and I'm really excited to see what I can do this year and how I can grow and just really put my business first. So part of that is being more present here on YouTube, and the lighting is shocking. That's better. It's that time of year. And so that's why we're here. I thought I'd give you guys a little look into my life. For those of you who are not new around here, you may notice I've got a little buddy on my shoulder. I have finally gotten over the fear of my external microphone. My husband got me this as a present, I think about 2 years ago. Like, he was like ahead of the curve getting me this, but I was so worried about it. I was scared to use it. I don't know why. Ridiculous. But as this is my year of challenging myself and trying new things and improving my business, which includes the quality of my content, I thought it was about time to give the microphone a go. I thought this would be a good video to do that because most of the talking is going to be still, calm. Ideally it would be best for when I do more like lifey blogs and I'm traveling around and moving around, and it means that whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, the sound is going to be good. I've had a little test. I've edited a little bit of a test video, so hopefully we're all good. One of my other goals actually this year is to upgrade my editing software. I just use iMovie, which is free on my computer. It does everything I need it to do, but I am finding myself kind of wanting just a little bit more flexibility with it, because yes, you can do everything you want to do, but it's quite restrictive, and I have been scared to learn a new piece of software, but we're doing scary things this year. So it is Monday. It is 11 o'clock, so it's quite late for me to actually sit down and work. But Monday mornings I always go and do the food shop for the week, and I normally have like bits and things left over to do from the weekend, little bits of house admin. Last week was half term, so the house admin is shocking. There's quite a lot still to do. I've got a lot of catching up to do on the house, but I just was desperate to sit down and do some work. Honestly, I've missed my routine so much. It's so important to my productivity and my mental health. I have ADHD and autism and have really struggled with my relationship with work my whole life, but in the past few years, after having a lot of therapy, things have really clicked into place, and I've learned that routine is so unbelievably important to me. It's strange because one of the things I love about my job and working for myself is the flexibility it allows me. Like, I'm in charge of my deadlines. I don't have to talk to anybody else. Every day is different, that kind of thing. But in order for that to be sustainable, I really learned that routine is key. So most days now look pretty similar to me. with different lifey things involved, interacting with that kind of stuff. So it's my aim to be sat down and working usually by 10 o'clock. Now, because of aforementioned ADHD, if I have anything else I need to do that day, I have to do it first thing in the morning, because if I have something that I need to do at like 2 o'clock, it hangs over me for the whole day and I can't focus on anything else other than that thing that's going to happen later on. So if I've got to do the food shop like today, if I'm doing a run, if I've got the gym, they all happen first thing, straight from the school run, and I'm normally back and sitting down, had breakfast and everything by 10. And then my mornings are spent doing admin, because obviously that's the time when the house is silent, I'm here on my own, I've got the least distractions. It'll all be admin, and I usually go right through until about 1:30, because that's when I start to get hungry, sometimes like 2 o'clock. And then I'll go make my lunch and I will have a lunch hour. It's not always an hour, if I don't feel like I need an hour, but having that break in the middle of the day is really, really important. I used to just work straight through till the school run time, which for me is 3 o'clock, and I get back from the school run and I just wouldn't feel, my second half of my days would never be very productive because I hadn't had that break in the middle. So have my lunch break, and then once the kids are home from school, obviously that's not the best time for me to be doing admin and stuff. My office is downstairs in my house and everything else is upstairs. We've got a strange house because it's built into a hill, so it's effectively a bungalow with a downstairs room. It's weird, but this is my office, so I don't feel confident sitting and working in here when I'm too far away from the kids. So afternoons tend to be things like sample knitting, video editing I can do quite happily with the kids around, especially if it's just like a talky video, but nothing intensive, nothing admin-y, nothing that takes a lot of focus. And then depending on the day of the week, there'll be more like work, life admin stuff, or I'll be spending time with the kids. Obviously, for example, on a Thursday, my daughter has clubs after school, but my son doesn't. So we usually take that time to have a little bit of one-on-one time together, which is nice. But as I said, every day is different. But that's normally how my days, Monday to Friday, go. So seeing as today is a Monday, I have been planning the week. This is another really important part of keeping focused and keeping on track. Something I resisted for a long time, but have now established as a habit. Bear with. But you'll be really able to hear my swallowing with this mic on. I promise I'll edit it out. So something I did this morning. I don't normally eat my breakfast in my office, but I was just so excited to get down here, if I'm honest, that I had my breakfast in my office, put a little video on, and I planned the week and a little bit into next week. I put in like all my life things, like the kids have got haircuts this week, and when my therapy is, when my gym is booked, and like all that kind of thing. We have a small private gym in our village and you book it in advance, and that's when you go. You don't just like go whenever you want like a normal gym. So anything like that, I even plan my runs to get them in there, make sure I've got them booked in. And then I'll go through and write down all the things I want to get done over the week or so. And I did start off by like putting specific things on specific days, and that was kind of fine, but I don't know, it wasn't the most like productivity inducing for me. So instead I'm just writing down all the things I want to get done. If there's something urgent that has to be done by a specific time, like a pattern release or a test knit launch or something like that, then obviously that'll go on a specific day. But this week is a very flexible week, so that's really exciting. I think it's going to be a really nice one to film. So what have I got going on as a knitwear designer this week? Well, I have got 3 patterns in the works at the moment, one of which is in testing. That's my Russell scarf. My sample is currently in my car. Or have I got my other sample? No, I think my other sample's upstairs. That's in testing at the moment, so that's quite a quiet one. We're in the second week of a 3-week test, and all the big bugs have been sorted now. That normally happens in the first few days. Any kind of issues with the pattern get sorted out, and then off we go. So that's in its kind of middle phase of the test knit. I need to finish my second sample, but it's a really, really quick knit. So that's on the list this week, is to finish that sample. I have got a sock pattern I'm working on, of which I have it right here for you. I have not yet cast on my second one. It's this beautiful textured sock with this kind of like diagonal line shaping heel flap and gusset in this beautiful sock yarn from John Arbon. It's a British wool. It is superwash merino and nylon, however it's still so rustic. It's not like itchy, but it's not got that like cold squeaky feel that superwash merino has, that you often get in like hand-dyed yarns and stuff. So I'm really excited by this. This is a really challenging sock to write, actually. First time I've done a heel flap and gusset, and with the texture and the stitch counts and all this kind of stuff, yeah, I didn't make my life easy for my first sock pattern in about 3 years. My first ever pattern was a sock pattern, but it was like a shorty and it was colour work, so it was really quite simple looking back at it, but this is a bit more intense. So I have written the pattern, but I need to go through it whilst I knit the second one. That's something I really like to do if I can, is almost like pre-test my patterns once I've written them up. So I've got the sock on the go, and again, no rush with that because socks are not really seasonal. You can release socks all year round, really. So I'm probably going to focus more on my third design, which is slightly seasonal, and I would like to get into test as soon as possible. And that is my Jacques scarf. I haven't actually announced the name of this one yet. This was something that I cast on 4 or 5 days ago and got absolutely obsessed with. Oh, I'm still obsessed with it now. I've got a second sample on the go in this beautiful pistachio green colour. This yarn, by the way, was sent to me by Mode at Rowan. I've not been asked to use it or talk about it. It's just for me to try, and I absolutely love it. It's 100% cotton. So the idea of this is that it's like a spring scarf. You could totally knit it in wool as well, but I wanted to make the most of the cotton because, oh, I just love it. I'm so obsessed with it at the moment. I can't put it down. So I'm quite keen to get that through. There's going to be quite a few options, like sizing options and striping options, or like colour options. It's basically designed to use 2 50-gram balls for the kind of this version, and then I'm doing a version where it's the same colour all the way through, which will use 100 grams of that colour, and basically just really scrappy leftover, one of those kind of things, which is an area I seem to have found my stride in recently. I love making projects that use up leftover yarn. Apparently that's my thing. So those are the projects I'm working on this week. So I'd like to finish writing up those patterns and get them off to the editor by the end of the week. At least one of them I'd like to have in edit by the end of the week, and that is more than doable. I've then got some like boring admin-y things, like I am signing up to a couple of affiliate programs as a way to further expand my business this year, and I kind of need to do the admin of that. I've got emails to do like every day, and I've got quite a few built up because last week was half term and I just kind of stayed away from my computer, if I'm honest. I've got to upload a Patreon video. I've already uploaded the Patreon video to YouTube, and where it's uploaded on YouTube, but it's private, so you can only see it if you got the link from Patreon. So I need to upload that today, and then I need to film another Patreon video because we are doing a sock along, like a sock cow. So I need to do a little update of that and draw a winner and all that kind of thing. That's running for like 6 months. We've got this video, and then I would also like to look into Final Cut Pro this week, which is probably the editing software I'm going to upgrade to. But I want to watch a couple of videos about it, like see how easy it is to use. Like, you know, I know you can do online courses and things, but you really don't need to because everything is on YouTube. So that is what we've got going on this week, and I'm going to bring you along. Obviously I don't want it to just be a video of B-roll of me sitting at my computer or me knitting, but there's going to be a little bit of that. But hopefully you can see the amount of work I get through, the amount of knitting I do. There may or may not be new cast-ons because you never really know what's going to fall out of your brain when this is your job. But there you go. That's where we're at. That's what we're looking at. So without further ado, I'm going to stop procrastinating and I'm going to answer those emails because it's my least favourite job, but I always feel good when it's done. So let's crack on with the day, shall we? got a little mini guy. I just edited the footage I literally just filmed, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love it. I didn't like audio, fine. I had to like play around with settings and stuff, but I didn't love the big chunky. Also, I had to edit out every single time I swallowed. It's a little too sensitive. But I realised I've got this little mini fella that came with it as well, that's attached to the big chunky fella that was attached to my collar. So hopefully that will work a bit better, because that is a lot less offensive visually, isn't it? It is 1 o'clock. It still blows my mind how quickly the time goes now when I'm in my office and I'm zoned in, dialed in, and just working so hard. I'm not at all hungry. I had a really late breakfast today, and the sun is shining like you wouldn't believe. So I'm going to go for a run. I was really hoping to get one in today, but the weather's been awful. We had beautiful weather on Saturday and I had the nicest run and it was lovely. But yesterday it was awful, awful weather, and I was really hoping for some sunshine today. So I'm going to get in a nice cheeky, maybe 5k, really simple. I'm still coming back to running after taking a couple of weeks off because I was ill, but I've got a 10k in a couple of weeks and I want to be ready for it. So I'm just kind of getting used to regular running. I'm not pushing my distance, not pushing my speed, just kind of getting into it. So I'm going to go for a cheeky 5k on my lunch break, I think, and then I will probably grab something to eat when I'm back again, and then it'll be time to pick up the kids. I've made some really good progress on the Jacques scarf. Figuring out all the yarn amounts and stuff has been quite intense and a little bit confusing for me because there's so many different options. There's small, there's large, there's switched colours, there's single colour, and yeah, I've been working through that. Made some really good progress with the pattern, so I need to do a little bit more sample knitting before I can confidently send that pattern off to edit, which I'll do this afternoon. But for now, let's go for a run. Yay! Good morning, it is Tuesday. I am feeling smug. I managed to get up on my alarm today, which was the first time in a week or two. During half term, I let myself lie in anyway, but I have been trying since the beginning of the year basically to shift my bedtime a bit earlier, and we're pretty much settled on 6:45 now. The kids get up at 7:15, so I've got half an hour of just quiet time. First thing in the morning, I'll normally have a coffee and like catch up on my notifications or watch a video or something. I tend not to knit first thing in the morning, but yeah, just that quiet time in the morning. And then I find once I get the kids up at 7:15, I'm just so productive. Taking that bit of time in the morning to slowly wake up, to start the day with quiet, with my own thoughts, with no one demanding anything of me, without having to think about 10 things at once, just has had a huge effect on my productivity. I wasn't expecting it to. The only reason I started doing it is because I want to be able to run early in the morning when it's like summer. And to be fair, it's light enough now, but it's still quite chilly. But I wasn't expecting the knock-on effect it would have. Like my mornings now before the kids go to school, they used to be rushed, stressed, chaotic, not even a chance of emptying the dishwasher. Whereas now, everything is done, everything is calm. Yes, there are days when we run a bit late or someone, loses their temper or something like that. That's really normal. But most of the time now, when I return back from that school run, the house is clean and tidy. It's and everything's good to go, which then leads me to be able to start work as soon as I get back, and there's nothing else clouding my mind. Something I've really learned, even just recently, since having my office done and I've really started to prioritize my work, is how much the other parts of my life interfere with my work productivity. So simple things like making sure like the house is at like basic level, clean and tidy, beds made, dishwasher emptied, you know, everything clear and tidy up there, frees up so much more of my brain space. Having a dedicated space to work in has also massively helped, because before, if I was sitting on the sofa or working in the kitchen, there'd just be so many distractions. But so having this separate space where I can close the door really helps. But just being on top of the life things is just huge when it comes to work productivity, I think. So also on that basis, haven't put my watch back on because I've just had a shower. It is about 11:15, 10:30, 11:15, and I went to the gym this morning, had my gym booked in at 9 o'clock, got home, showered, ate my breakfast, and now we are good to go. So a later start again today, but that's all right. Like, that's totally fine. I've got a good clear 4 hours ahead of me, I think, because I had my breakfast quite late today at like 10:30. Probably not going to be ready for lunch until about 2, 2:30. So we're going to go straight through till then, I think. I've got lots of lovely things to do this morning. Admin focused. I completely forgot to make an invoice. I did a talk at Unravel Festival, not weekend, just gone weekend before, and I have to invoice them what they are going to pay me for that. But I completely forgot about that invoice, and I had a reminder today, so I need to do that. I am going to film my Patreon sock make along video this morning, get that edited and put up, and yeah, probably do a little bit more work on my patterns. So when I got home from school run yesterday, I had a major sample knitting session, and I'm going to show you what I did. I am officially out of yarn on this for now, but I'd ordered some yarn like last week and it's been dispatched, so it should be here tomorrow or day after. I'm officially halfway through. I've used up my first 50-gram ball of the green, and I now have all the information I need for the pattern to go to test, apart from I have written, like, this is obviously like an increase end. I've written the instructions for the decrease end, but when I've gone through and like added in the stitch counts, it's not quite adding up. So there's a mistake in there somewhere and I can't visually find it. So I'm going to hold off on that until I've knit the second half of this, which, if my yarn arrives tomorrow, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, probably not going to get this off to edit by the end of the week, unless I just cast on a swatch and just do it. Work smarter, not harder. All I need to do is basically cast on this number of stitches and then work what I've worked to find where the problem is. So that'll happen at some point, but yeah, absolutely still obsessed with this. So I did quite a lot on this last night. Yesterday afternoon, in that bit, once I picked the kids up and then took my daughter to one of her classes, and then a bit more after that, and then did tea, and it was all done, all finished. It's not finished, but I can't move forward on it yet because I'm waiting for more yarn. So yesterday evening, I did some non-work knitting. Now this is something that's very, very important. For a long time, I really struggled to see the knitting side of my business as work, because obviously for a long time beforehand it wasn't work, it was my hobby, it was the thing I did to relax, it was the thing I did to, you know, escape the world for quite a long time. But to see myself sitting there knitting as time spent working it took a long time for that to really click in. And something that helps me keep in that mindset and value my time and my sample knitting time is to make sure that I've got non-work projects on as well. And these will normally be very simple my phone's going off. There'll be very simple things, and at the moment I'm doing a lot of sock knitting, especially because we've got a make along going on in Patreon. So these are I'm calling them my birthday socks because I bought the yarn for myself for my birthday. My husband and I went to the Cotswolds for the weekend, well, just for one night actually. We live literally on the cusp of the Cotswolds, so it wasn't very far, but we just nipped over to a couple of villages and we stayed in a hotel, and on the way back we nipped into a yarn shop. It was Fiberworks in Chipping Norton or Camden, I can never remember the difference, but Chipping Norton, and I bought this yarn, which is by Lang Yarns Wool Addicts Cotton Sock, I think, but it's basically 50-50 cotton merino with nylon in there as well, and it's really lovely. Honestly, I'm so happy with these socks. The fit on them is perfection. Absolute spot on. I'm having a real heel flap and gusset moment at the moment. I used to hate doing a heel flap and gusset. I found it so arduous, and I don't like increasing and decreasing. No, that's not true. There are certain types of increasing and decreasing I don't like. I do not like make one left, make one right. I prefer make one right, but if I can, I'll avoid it, which I think is why I really like drop shoulders, because there's hardly any increasing. And with the Jacques scarf that I'm working on at the moment, it's knit one front back, which I find much more it's not that it's easier, I just find that it flows nicer. I feel like when I'm doing a make one left or right, you have to stop, you have to remember which way around you pick up the thing, and then you have to work it through the front or the back, whereas knit one front back is just like boop boop, but obviously that creates a little pearl bump, so I only use that in garter. So obviously I've done so much garter over the past year. I just love it, and so good for short row shaping, which is my absolute favourite knitting thing in the world. I just love it. But I seem to be kind of moving on from that a little bit, and with the heel flap and gusset, the decreasing isn't too bad because you knit two together SSK, and I don't find them as bad. I absolutely will never do a pass stitch over, a PSS or a PSSO depending on the designer, and that's where you knit one, you knit two and then you pass the stitch. Anything where you have to pass the stitch on your right needle over the live stitch on your left needle, I'm not going to do it. Absolutely hate it. I'll always do a slip slip knit. I know that's really random, but basically I finished my pair of socks, and that was so lovely because I had a really lovely sense of achievement last night. It was really gentle, calm knitting. I'm excited to cast on my next pair of socks, and yeah, really important to have that non-work knitting time. I know it's something a lot of my designer friends struggle with. You feel like if you've got knitting time, you have to be working on your work knits, and there are times where I do work on my work knits at the weekend or in the evening. Honestly, this weekend all I did was Jacques scarf because that's what I wanted to do and that's what I loved, but last night was a conscious decision just to take a little step back from it because I know I've got a lot of sample knitting going on at the moment. So that's what I got up to last night, and now it's time to crack on with the day. So we've got admin, we've got filming, and then we'll probably be back into knitting after school run. Where Tuesday is the kids' night off. It's the only night we don't have some form of club or activity thing going on, so we tend to keep it nice and quiet and chill. So I'm gonna crack on with the day. Today has not gone to plan. It is 2:20 and I have not even eaten lunch. My day is just didn't really work out, and I'm going to tell you about it whilst I make my lunch because I'm running out of time to eat. Just having a salad today, again. I'm really enjoying my salads. Oh, I was gonna cook some green beans. Maybe I'll just do the same salad I did yesterday. It is absolutely nothing exciting at all. Where's my favourite knife? It's just a Caesar salad with some chicken on it. I'm just obsessed with Caesar salad at the moment. I just can't get enough of it. Anyway, what went wrong with the day? So I filmed the Patreon sock video, but the sound on it was really bad, and I've actually been editing this video as well as I go along, kind of trying to do stuff in a new way, so I don't have one big, like, I'm not sitting for hours and editing in one go, doing it like bit by bit, which I think will make these longer videos that are like a week long easier. And the audio from the little microphone was much better in the clips I took for this video than it was in the ones I took for Patreon, and I had it here, and it was just too sensitive. It was very, like, the noise kept distorting. If I wasn't even like shouting or anything, but even if I just put a little bit more effort into my voice, is it peaking out? Is that the right word? I'm not sure. But it was not pleasant to listen to, so I had to basically scrap the whole video. I forgot my croutons. I also downloaded a free trial of Final Cut Pro, which is the Apple like video editing software, but like the fancier one than just the free one you get on your Mac. And I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Some of it was similar to not Windows Movie Maker. What's it called? I can't even remember. Some of it was similar, some of it was different, and I couldn't even figure out the most simple, basic things. It just wasn't very intuitive. And yes, I could have looked up a tutorial, but it should be intuitive. And that's one of the reasons I love Apple products and Apple software, is it's all usually really intuitive, but I didn't like it. So I was having troubles with the sound, having troubles with using the software. This video has been edited my normal way. I don't think I'm quite ready to do a big full-on vlog edit yet. I'm now trying Final Cut Pro. Premiere. Premiere Pro is what I'm trying now, which is like the Adobe version. And I use Adobe InDesign. So again, I already have knowledge of how the software works, because they have similarities. Like, it's not completely brand new and alien to me. Got an egg. And so far it's a lot more intuitive, though I've done about 7 minutes of the video and then ejected my memory card to put it back into my camera to speak to you guys, and didn't realise that it was feeding. I was editing directly from the memory card, so I lost that and I couldn't relink it, and I basically had to start again. And it's putting me in a bit of a frustrated mindset. Crouton? What is a Caesar salad without a crouton? So yes, I definitely got to the point where I was like, now we need to stop and take a little break from work, basically. I often get to this point in the day and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is it like for people who have their lunch break now, middle of the working day, and then go back to work until like 5-6 o'clock? I'm like, oh, I would love that, to have those hours again. Like, it would feel to me now like a whole other day, because once the kids are home, that's it. It's kind of like work time done. And yes, obviously I can stamp on it in that time, but right now all I want to do is kind of focus on getting this video edited, and that is not something I can do with the kids home. I've tried, it doesn't work out for anyone. So yeah, that's what it's like, I guess, when you are in my phase of life. If you have small kids and you're trying to run a business at the same time, you know, finding the balance. I can't do all the work I want to do at the time I want to do it every time, but you know, I get to spend so much time with my kids and do the school runs and be at their shows. swings and roundabouts, and it's such a short phase of life, but that's where I'm at. Still working on that video. Who knows if it'll be done today. I'll probably attempt to get it done once we're home, depending on how the kids feel. Quite often they just really want to like chill out after school, which is fine. They'll, you know, play or watch a video or play a video game or something. They'll just have their chill out time. So I could probably get another hour afterwards, but we'll see how it goes. If I just keep getting interrupted, then I'll stop, because that's when I get like snappy, and that's not fair on them, it's not fair on me. So I'm gonna eat my lunch whilst re-editing the video that I've already partly edited. I don't normally work and eat at the same time. That's not normally something I stick to, but I feel like I am behind today, so I'm gonna multitask. But it's not a habit. It's not something I make a habit of. I think some of the frustration I'm feeling is that if I had just stuck to my normal filming way, without the new microphone, without the new editing software, then I'd be done. That video would be uploaded, good to go, and I'd be sitting on the sofa eating my lunch. And that's why I feel like I'm behind. But what I've actually done today is I've done a load of learning that I, wasn't in the plan, but is still valid. And this is a whole mindset thing. Yes, things didn't quite go to plan today, but the plan changed, and I've learnt lessons that I was going to have to learn at some point, and now they're learned, and I won't make those mistakes again in the future. So let's not be so hard on ourselves, and let's just adapt as we go and eat our salad whilst listening to ourselves talk about socks, because that's normal life. Great news, I got the video edited just in time for the school run, and I realised that I can upload to YouTube directly from Premiere Pro. It's like it saves me a job, even though I'm still kind of doing it. It feels like it saves me a job. So yay! Oh, I'm feeling much better now. I've got that done. Now I'm gonna go and get the kids, and then just have a lovely afternoon time. So I'll catch up with you again probably tomorrow. I've got a busy morning. I've got a busy morning. I'm getting my nails done, but I've also got some errands to run in town. So tomorrow is going to be quite a low work day, but then Thursday we've got like nothing booked in. So I'm excited for a full work day. So maybe I'll catch up with you guys again on Thursday.
You can change your video previews down here. So if you're struggling to play back footage,
hello guys, we are back to just using the camera microphone, because I just think the microphones I have just might be a bit rubbish, if I'm honest. I have just sat and edited a good 15 minutes of chat, and they just stopped. The audio just stopped halfway through. It just stopped. Batteries on it were fine, but that aside, I just don't think the quality was very good. There was a lot of I want to say pitchiness, and I'm not even talking loudly. And even when I was trying to talk more softly or quieter, I was still getting that peaking out, like the distortion thing. And I should be able to talk at my normal speaking volume. So thank you for being my guinea pigs so far. I'm sorry if any of the sound quality was bad, but I'm gonna carry on with this video because I think it's fine. It's not the best, but I don't think it's bad. And yeah, interested to hear your feedback. Like, genuinely, let me know what you think about the different audios, whether it's even worth me investing in a better quality mic, like external mic like that, or maybe I have got one that attaches to my camera that I used to use for my big DSLR camera before I had this one, but I used to find it made the sound in the microphone in the camera was better, but I don't know, let me know. Thank you for bearing with me on that. But it is Wednesday afternoon. I've got to go and get the kids in 20 minutes. I got my nails done. I went for this bluey, purpley. It looks very blue on camera. It looked really blue in the nail salon. It looked really purple in the nail salon. Now it's blue again. But I just felt maybe I was inspired by the blue skies. It was grim this morning. Absolutely grim. Awful. Raining when I went into the nail salon, which is in like a basement, so you can't really see outside. Came out to beautiful sunshine again. And did a little bit of life admin, a few errands, came home. I spent the morning before I went to my nail appointment doing some learning time. As I mentioned, I struggle to focus when I've got an appointment midway or later on in the day. It's like the time before that appointment doesn't exist. And I know that's not true. I know that's my brain lying to me, as it loves to do. But yeah, overriding that with logic is really difficult. But I decided this morning to just not try and do anything too intensive, too difficult, and I just did learning time. So I've been watching lots of videos about Premiere Pro. My goodness, what am I getting myself into? It is intense, and I'm wondering if I even need it. I've been editing this video my normal way in iMovie. I couldn't remember what it was called yesterday. And I'm like, do I really need to go fancier than this? Like, I think it's because I love watching vlogs. It's probably my most consumed content, and I like to mainly watch like lifestyle, health and fitness vlogs. And I do like ones that have, I kind of watch a mixture. I watch ones that are like, you know, really low editing and ones that are really high editing, and I like them all. And maybe I just want bring a little bit of finesse to my edit, but we'll see. It's something I think I still need to work on. I've got I think it's a 5-day free trial or a 9-day, I don't know. There's a free trial anyway. And I've got a few email addresses that I could use. Oh no, it's part of the Creative Cloud, which is what I'm set up to. Anyway, I'm getting rambly. Yeah, did some learning time this morning. Yet to decide whether Premiere Pro is the way to go. Little bone for you there. I'll probably do another vlog and edit the vlog in it to help me decide. But got back from a nail appointment and have spent the past hour just doing fiddly admin. I can't like it will never not astound me how much admin there is to do. Just like emails, and I got accepted onto the affiliate program that I applied. I knew I would be because they asked me to join, but I'm now officially a Woolly Thistle affiliate, which is really, really lovely. The reason I said yes to joining the affiliate program, something I've never done before, is because they sell British yarns over in America. So I'm pretty sure, they do ship internationally because they're shipping yarn to me. Bear with. But I do know that America, US, Canada, all that kind of, that side of the planet, I think I'm pretty sure it's over there, can be more difficult to get the British woolly yarns. And I use a lot of John Arbon, I use a lot of Woolly Mammoth, both of which are stocked. I think they're out of stock on Woolly Mammoth at the moment, but they've got pretty much all the John Arbon yarns, including the ones that I've used. So it felt like a really natural fit for me to be able to say, you know, if you want these yarns that I'm talking about, you can get them here and support me at the same time. And it's a part of, you know, expanding my business. I've always been a little bit like eek about like affiliate things because I don't consider myself an influencer. I try to be as unadverty as possible. Like, you won't catch me saying this video is sponsored by Squarespace. The only one I would say yes to is BetterHelp, because I've been using them for 2 years and genuinely changed my life. But that's not my vibe. So to do an affiliate link felt a bit weird. But after talking to the people at the Woolly Thistle, I just really loved their vibe. I was really honest with them. I was like, I'm unsure if I'm honest. Like, can we chat about it? Like, what's the benefits? How does it go down? Like, that kind of thing. And they explained how the majority of their high earning affiliates are not podcasters, not YouTubers, not influencers. They're actually designers who use the yarns and then share the links in their Ravelry page and the designs and stuff. And I thought, okay, well, maybe this is something that I should be taking advantage of if I want to expand my business, which I do, because why wouldn't you want your business to do better? Why wouldn't you want to make more money? quite simple. It's tricky talking about money, isn't it? It's a weird one. It's a bit of a taboo, but we're going to move on from that. So, admin bits done, editing done. But yeah, a slow work day today, as I mentioned it would be. I've now got to go and get the kids, and then we have a 45-minute turnover before we go to swimming lessons, and then we get home, and then they have their tea, and then I make my tea, and then I finally sit down for the evening. But the nice thing about swimming is I can knit whilst I am there, watching them swim from the viewing area. Although I don't have a sock cast on. Don't have a sock cast on. Right, I'm going to cast on my other red sock, my texture sock, and I'll just work on the cuff while I'm there. That'll be nice and easy. But tomorrow is hopefully a much more involved work day, and I am determined to get the pattern for the Jacques scarf done. The extra yarn arrived today, which is lovely. Did I show you something I showed you before that is in the footage that I can now no longer use because and I've put it under the bed. I got some more yarn today for another design, but I'll show you that tomorrow because it's under the bed and I can't be bothered to open the bed. Yeah, Jacques scarf. I want that sent off tomorrow. I'm going to do it. I was talking about how I need to rework out my instructions for the end of it, and I was going to knit it and everything, but then I thought, hang on a minute, I can probably just draw it out. Something that I find really, really valuable is like hand drawing things. I don't have my notebook with me, but I shared it on my Instagram the other day. I was figuring out a heel, wrap and turn, and I just could not get the numbers to make sense in my head, so I basically I've got like my own little code where I will just draw out what I'm effectively knitting, and I can then match that to the maths, and that's kind of how I can work it out. So yes, tomorrow should be a higher volume work day, which is lovely, and then Fridays are lower volume work days, but we'll talk about that when it's Fridays. So just a quick catch up today. This is just what my life is like. Sometimes we spend all day staring at a computer, sometimes we spend all day knitting, sometimes we spend all day cleaning the house and running errands and getting swimming stuff ready, and you know, it's just life, isn't it? So I'll see you tomorrow. Happy Thursday, and I'm feeling pretty good. Yesterday, man, I just could not get my head in the game. I was a little bit all over the shop, and that's fine. Not every day is like super productive, girl boss loving life. But today I'm feeling much, much better. The sun is shining its little heart out. I got up this morning, I went for a run after the school run, and then I came home, had a shower, had breakfast. I just had 45 minutes of therapy, and I've done about an hour of work, and I'm feeling so good. Really, really good. I think just had a little bit of a mood dip yesterday, which is normal. I think I've had quite an admin heavy week, weirdly, and I was kind of feeling like I hadn't got much done. Like I hadn't really got that like accomplished, finished feeling, despite, you know, working quite a lot this week. So I referenced back to my planner that what I set out at the beginning of the week, and actually I had quite a few things that I could cross off the list, and the only things left now are getting the Jacques scarf pattern and the sock pattern off to edit, and I was hoping to get at least one of those done. I don't think I'll be getting both of them done, but I don't need both of them to be done. And I think I was a bit hesitant to go in and try and fix the issue with the Jacques scarf. This is a common occurrence with me. Like, I have a small task to do, but I psych myself out, I tell myself I can't do it, it's gonna be really hard and it's gonna take ages, and none of those things are true. And I was feeling really good, really empowered after my therapy session, so I sat down and found the problem with the decreases in the Jacques scarf literally just by charting it out. It's kind of like I will, yeah, it's basically a chart, but I just do it by hand, and I will kind of like, I have my own symbols that make sense to me in my head, and I was able to quite quickly find the issue and then rewrite the bit that had gone wrong. And now I just have to do the fiddly bits of the pattern. So I have to put in like the gauge, the yarn, how long the yarn is, how much of the yarn you might need, accessories, construction, about like all the kind of info that goes in before a pattern. I find that bit really boring, and some of it you can copy and paste, but obviously each project is completely individual. If I've used the same yarn before, I can copy and paste that, but like, yeah, I don't know why, it's just not very satisfying work. The same as going and putting in the abbreviations at the end of the pattern and the kind of terms and conditions and stuff, all of that. It's boring, and I drag my heels on it quite a lot, but as soon as I get that done today, I can send it off to edit, which will be lovely. And then I am going to treat myself to an afternoon of sample knitting in front of the telly. This does not happen very often. Sometimes I will get into a point where I've got like a whole jumper that needs sample knitting. The last time I had a big sample knitting session was when I was doing my sample for the John Arbon annual that's coming out in September. And obviously that was secret, so I couldn't share what I was working on or anything like that. But I literally had hours and hours and hours and hours, days of sample knitting to do. And every day it was just, right, okay, get in, sit down, knit for like 6 hours a day. Which obviously is the dream, but one, not great for our hand health, and just not the reality of being a knitwear designer. Those moments do happen, but yeah, it's not all the time. And that was really enjoyable because you get to just like have a load of films on and just knit away. And that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm going to find something on the telly to watch. I'm going to smash out the second half of my, I don't think I'll get the whole thing done today, but the green sample, which will mean by the time hopefully the pattern is ready next week, we can go straight into test. And then I need to stop procrastinating the Russell scarf and finish that sample as well. But maybe I should finish the Russell scarf today, and then that'll be a big step towards that pattern. That'll be a big finished object feeling. I've not got much to go on that, so maybe I should just concentrate a few hours on that this afternoon. Then I think I really will have a sense of accomplishment. I think that's what I'm chasing. I want the finished object feeling. How is this my job? How is this my job now, to sit and knit of an afternoon, and that is work? It's work. It didn't used to feel like work, but it definitely is a big part of it, because without the samples, you don't get the patterns. So yeah, something I really need to do, and something I think I'm going to implement from April, is to actually track my time, like log my time. I know that there is loads of apps and things you can have on your computer to do that, but I would like one that I can access from my phone as well, so that I can actually see how many hours a week I work and how much time I spend developing each pattern. And then I can look at the sales and the time spent and figure out what my margins are properly, and mainly to see how many hours I spend a week actually working, because then when it comes to the end of the tax year and I, look over what I've made for the year, I can figure out effectively what wage I'm on, and just kind of having that data and that information I think is good. I think it would be a good way to figure out like my value. Not that I really need to know that in monetary terms, I know that, but yeah, it would just be interesting, and I think good business practice to be tracking the amount of time I'm actually spending working, because I reckon I spend more time working than I think I do, especially if I include things like sample knitting, social media. When I'm sat there on my phone writing a post and posting it and interacting with comments and all that kind of stuff, that is time spent working, which is really important. And if I like for example, at the end of the tax year, my accountant will ask me, like, do you have a phone, and how much of the time spent on that phone is dedicated to work, and then we can claim tax back on the cost of your phone bill, things like that. And you just you just estimate it really, but I could actually have that solid information and say, well, yeah, I used my phone this amount couple of times for this amount of, yeah, it's complicated. It's all that kind of thing that you just don't see when you look on Instagram and you see a knitwear designer sitting in their chair with their nice coffee and pastry knitting. You don't see all that behind the scenes stuff. You don't see all the admin and the business side of it. And it's definitely more of that than there is knitting, depending on what you're working on. Like, for example, doing something like the Jacques scarf, there's very little knitting compared to admin, but then knitting a blanket, there's a lot more knitting than there is admin. So it's all swings and roundabouts, but I'm definitely procrastinating now. So that's what's happening today. Shall we go and knit? Let's have a lovely long knitting session. I finally washed my hair this morning. I've had like an oil treatment in it for like 2 days, which you would have seen because my hair's been slicked back. It wasn't just dirty hair, I promise. It was actual like nourishing oil, and I've just let it dry naturally this morning. Just some gentle waves. I couldn't be bothered to do full curly girl routine because I just can't be bothered. It just takes too long. Anyway, procrastination central. Let's get on with it. Something else I wanted to mention to anybody out there who works from home and struggles to concentrate and focus. This is something my sister put me onto. My sister is a graphic designer and also works for herself from home. Is music for concentration playlists. Honestly, life changing. Did not think this would be something that I would like, but gave it a go. And the one I'm currently listening to at the moment, which seems to really like connect in with my brain, is this one. Lo-fi hip hop. It's weird, I don't really call it like hip hop, but lo-fi hip hop. It's called Lo-Fi Girl Beats to Relax / Study To. I chose it based completely on the image. I just really liked it, and I just put that on shuffle. And when I'm doing something like what I'm doing today, the boring admin parts of pattern writing that are really, there is zero motivation in my brain. There's no novelty, there's no excitement, there's no pressure deadline. I just have to do it. By listening to this music, it entertains that part of my brain that needs to be constantly stimulated, and then it's like the rest of me is just going through the motions. I use it a lot when I'm like cleaning and tidying and things like that. But yeah, finding this, and it's something specific about this type of music. It's like I'm not listening to it, but I can hear it. That's just another little tip for you fellow ADHD people who have to motivate themselves to do things they don't want to do every single day of their lives. Here under my fluffy blanket, nice and cozy, ready to work. It's 12:30 and my goodness, I have been a productive girly this morning. Fridays are always life admin days, or at least life admin mornings, and I went hard today. I don't normally go this hard. So on a Friday afternoon we have cleaners come, so in the morning I go around and make sure to just declutter everything, make sure everything is tidy. I've been working really hard this year, like the past few months, on really establishing good like tidiness habits, things like putting things in the dishwasher, not next to the sink, putting things away when I see them, all this kind of stuff, and that's been going really, really well. So my Friday morning big pre-cleaner tidy up declutter takes a fraction of the time it used to. It used to take me hours to get everything ready for the cleaners to come clean the house. So now that wasn't taking me as long, I found myself filling that time with other jobs, which is nice. Like, I did a load of things today that I've been putting off for ages. Like, I ordered the shelves we want for the kitchen because the builders are coming next week to put those in and do some last few remaining bits to our driveway. I decluttered a load of big boxes that have been in the hall for weeks. I did some plant admin, things like that. Just nice housey stuff. And then I went and did the food shop. I normally do the food shop when the cleaners are here in the afternoon, but now I've got this lovely office space to be in, I'll just come down here and then I'm not in their way or anything like that. So yeah, everything is done. The food shop, we are ready for the weekend. I've done all the washing, just an epic morning of life admin. So now I am clear for the rest of the afternoon. I can get a solid 2.5 hours working now. Then school run. My son is going to his friend's house after school and my daughter has got ballet, so I'll get a cheeky extra 45 minutes there as well that I wouldn't normally have. And then life is set for the weekend. We really, really prioritise rest in our family. Something I've really learnt about. And the weekend is tends to be when we do that. Like, my husband and I will still often go to the gym at some point over the weekend, but we're not like up and out every single day, loads of clubs, loads of activities. You know, we have enough of that in the week, and the kids, like, they're knackered. So it's really important to me and the rest of my family that Friday night we sit down. We usually get like a takeaway or something on a Friday night, so no one's cooking. And it's just a lovely way to start the weekend, I think. I'm going to have a busy weekend because, like I said, the builders are coming and my garage is absolutely full of stuff. It happens so quickly. I don't know how. Most of it was debris from like doing the office. I've got like big cardboard boxes and furniture that I need to take to the like reuse shop, and so much. So that'll be this weekend, but I'm now sitting down for a beautiful, blissful 2.5 hours of uninterrupted work. I'm so excited. So I sent off the pattern yesterday and guess what? It literally just re-emerged in my inbox. My editor, I love my editor so much. She's so on it. She's so fast. And I think because this is quite a small pattern and there's like minimal grading. There's only 2 sizes of a very simple scarf, and there's like only 2 instructions that are different because it's basically just like knit for a bit longer for the big one. That's about it. And she's just got back to me. It's just landed in my inbox literally as I sat down, which was exciting. And I had a quick look and she's like, nothing to worry about, just a few continuity errors and you're good to go. So it's done, it's good to go. And I'm so pleased. I'm going to do the test call for that, I think, on a Monday. I'm going to give myself the weekend to finish the 2nd sample, and then I can work on the 3rd sample whilst the test knit is happening. So yay! Oh my goodness. And speaking of samples, I had a wonderful sample knitting session yesterday afternoon. I really needed it. I think I just needed a little bit of brain recovery time from all the computer work. And I didn't quite finish it, but I'm so close. And I worked on it last night whilst I was chilling out with Mr. Penrose. And as you can see, where was I yesterday? I think I was around here or here yesterday when I started, and we are all the way up here. And all I have left now is this little checkerboard section here. So this is the Russell scarf. This is the 3-colour version. I'm making this one for my daughter because she loves to be snuggly and cosy. This is with Drops Air. My grown-up sample is with Isaga Soft, which is gorgeous. Honestly, lovely. That one is Isaga Soft is alpaca and cotton. This is alpaca cotton, and I think it's got a little bit of polyamide or something in there. And you can see it in some of the colours. You can see that there's this kind of man-made fibre shininess to it, which is fine. I don't really mind that at all. But I do prefer the Isaga Soft, although the Isaga Soft hasn't got many colours and it's quite a muted palette, which I love, but I wanted to make something fun and Eastery and really show off how versatile this pattern is with my 2nd sample, although my testers have done an absolutely cracking job of that for me. The colour combinations that they're coming up with is so good. There are scrappy ones, there are neutral ones, there's one where they're only using white yarn, but they're 3 different types of textured yarn. So there's like a smooth wool, a boucle, oh, it looks so good. There's one that's just a light shade of brown and a dark shade of brown, and honestly it just gives chocolate bar vibes, and it's so nice. So excited. So that test comes to an end next week, so hopefully the Russell scarf will be, is it next Monday or Monday after? Either way, Russell scarf will be released very soon. So next week is going to be another busy week, launching a new test knit, finishing off an old one, releasing a pattern. I probably won't film next week because the builders are here and it can be noisy and invasive. Even though most of it will be outside, they're still like, they use the garage as like their base camp, which is why I need to sort it out, and they use the downstairs loo like in and out. It's going to be like noisy and chaotic, so probably no filming next week, though that's good because I've done a lot of filming recently. But that's where we are. I'm now going to sit down and work, just like I said, and then once I've done that little pattern edit, I'm probably going to edit this video, knit on my scarf whilst I'm editing and listening to myself chat, and then we'll be done for the week. So I think that does bring us naturally to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's something very different for me. I've never done a vlog like this before. Very chatty, but no one wants to sit and watch me type at a laptop for, 40 minutes. I've got to do some talking. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a little bit of an insight into what my life as a knitwear designer is like. Obviously, it's different for everyone. I'm a knitwear designer, but I'm also taking care of 2 kids and my life, and just trying to keep hold of my mental health and working on my physical health. So this is just what my life as a knitwear designer looks like. It will be different for everyone. There's no right way of doing it. There's no one single perfect way of doing it. That's something that I love about this career. Like, we all have our different ways. I know I work quite differently to some of my other friends who are knitwear designers. And yeah, there you go. That's just your little insight into my life. I am thinking about doing a how I became a knitwear designer video. So if you like the sound of that, please let me know in the comments. That would be fantastic. And let me know if you enjoyed this style of video. I'm not sure how often I do like a full week vlog, because honestly most weeks will look like this. But if you enjoy the kind of work side of vlogging, then let me know. Traditionally I tend to vlog more like general homey life stuff, like when I do my seasonal weekly vlogging series. So I'll do like a winter vlog, so like a week of daily vlogging, spring, summer, autumn, and then Vlogmas. Though Vlogmas isn't going to happen this year, I don't think. I think I need a year off, but there will be winter vlogs. They always tend to be a little bit more live, a bit more chill. Obviously they feature my work, but if you enjoyed this work focused knitting life, knitting designer type situation, then please let me know. Anyway, I'm going to round this off. It was a pleasure to spend the week with you all. I hope you enjoyed it. How many times have I said that? That's me obviously projecting my worry that no one's going to like this. So please let me know. And I will see you again very soon. The next video on this channel will most likely be a podcast, because I've got lots to catch up on, I think. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic March, because this will be going live in March or the last day of February. Today, depends how much work I get done. But I will see you next time. Bye-bye.